What's the vibe, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Running Off the Screen. I am the man they call Mac. This episode, I would like to do a brief off-season wish list for the Raptors, and I'm curious to see what direction you guys feel the team should take this off-season. And despite how the season ended for our squad, there is tons of hope and optimism for the future. When we're talking about a development season, I believe the main goal for a front office is to build a new identity in the construction of the roster. And it's not very often where a retooling team gains much success in executing that new identity while technically being in their first stage. And considering the Raptors finished the regular season just 2 wins away from a 50-win season, with all the obstacles we were faced with, that kind of validates our optimism. Now, it took me a while to understand the vision Masai and Bobby were trying to establish. And when the Raptors made sure to double down and select 2 tall, versatile playmakers in this past draft in Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes, and homegrown prospect Delano Banton, my immediate reaction, other than "I told you so," was they have been in the hunt for a young, tall, dynamic playmaker for about 3-4 years now, and they finally got their guys. And I say 3-4 years because back in 2018, around the draft, we were rumored to be exploring trade-up options for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. In 2020, the same was said surrounding LaMelo Ball. And in 2021, Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball's name were also thrown out there in the rumor mill as well. Nonetheless, rumors are rumors, and the Raptors are not prone to leaked information. I just find it interesting. These players more or less provide similar skill sets. Now, the plus side in all of this is, unlike the guards I mentioned, Scotty Barnes is not only a versatile player offensively, he arguably has the most potential when you're talking about the defensive side as well, in his draft class at that. Now, due to his size, obviously, his athleticism, physicality, his heart, and IQ. And with credit to his hard work and passion for the game, he solidified himself as a huge puzzle piece in Nick Nurse's playbook. The problem now with that playbook is there are a few missing pieces before we can realistically consider ourselves a championship contender. We can agree that the Raptors' offseason needs are exactly what they were at the beginning of the season, and everything that we've been complaining about: shooting off the bench and just getting a legitimate big. Trades, free agency, the draft are the avenues we need to take to better our roster, but I'll save the draft talk for another episode. Okay, so wish list item number 1. Shooting, or I would rephrase it as scoring off the bench, because shooting is shooting, but we need players who can break down defenders off the dribble. We need players that are 3-level scorers. We can't just have a bunch of spot-up shooters. After a while, it'd be pretty easy to scheme against that. We just need more dynamic scorers off the bench. And I say that as the immediate need over a center, because if we're thinking about it, we were last in the league in 3-point makes. We were last in the league in 3-point attempts. We were last in the league in 3-point percentage. Second last in free throw percentage off the bench. And we were last in points and assists. Now, outside of the percentage numbers, you can kind of chalk that up to Nick Nurse just barely using his bench, so they didn't have enough time to give you the stats. You need to validate them. But even so, we don't have a legitimate offensive weapon that can back up our either guard spot, like the backup point or the backup 2 guard. Now, I'm all for internal growth, and I hope I'm wrong with what I'm about to say. I don't know if Malachi can develop into that consistent spark off the bench for us. Now, he's a small guard who doesn't play aggressive or with any grit. And those type of players kind of struggle to hold a rotation spot in this league. All the productive guards you can think of in the NBA that stand 6'1" and under, they have this certain toughness to them. You know, that this fire, this chip on their shoulder they play with. And unfortunately, I haven't seen that from Malachi when he touched the court this season. This is a pretty weak, I should say, free agent class. So that could offer Flynn another season to prove himself, if we avoid taking a guard in the draft, that is. Now, free agent options. My main free agent option, I think the Raptors should take a look at. Now, there's so many names I could throw out there. I'll just give you one, and I'll leave it open for you guys to comment any other names you feel are worth us bringing into our program. So the name I want to throw out there is Malik Monk. He just played 76 games for the Lakers, averaged 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I think he shot 47 from the field, 39 from 3. I think a bit under 80% from the free throw line. And I believe we can mold him into like a Lou Williams, Jordan Clarkson type scorer off the bench. He has shown the ability to attack and finish at the rim, and he also has had a respectable efficiency at the three-point line each of his past 2 seasons. I actually wanted us to pick him up last offseason, so an acquisition like this wouldn't hurt, and he's still very young and can grow with our other young players, or young pieces, I should say. I think he's still 24, if I'm not mistaken. Now, that's the main free agent piece I think we could bring in. Other names you could throw out there is Dante DiVincenzo, Victor Oladipo. I don't know. There's maybe some G Leaguers out there I don't know who can provide a spark off the bench. But I'll keep it at Malik Monk and leave the door open for you guys to bring in your takes. Now, trade targets. Trade. A trade target I think we should consider is Bogdan Bogdanovic. Now, he started 27 out of 63 games, averaged a pretty respectable 15, 4, and 3. He shot 43 from the field, 37 from 3. It's solid, but he can become a 3-level scorer for us. I could see him as like our poor man's Tyler Hero if we brought him in. Now, his salary is 18 mil, so that's something we'd kind of have to try and maneuver around. But we could definitely make the space. I know we have Thad Young's contract coming off the books. You got Boucher's coming off. You got some pieces you can move to free up even more space for us. But I think it's a valuable piece. He would create a lot of contribution to our roster. So the Hawks, they could be looking to move some salaries, with Kevin Huerter's and Trae Young's extensions kicking in next season. Though, if I could recall, Gallinari has a partial guarantee on his deal. I think it's $20 million he has, but it's $5 million guaranteed. So they can cut him to save them some cap. Even still, they need to shake up their roster, and I'm sure anyone not named Trae Young and maybe DeAndre Hunter, other than those 2 names, think everything's in play. Another name I think we should consider bringing in through a trade is Coby White. Now, he started 17 out of 61 games for the Chicago Bulls. He had off-season shoulder surgery, I believe, but he didn't seem to hinder him too much because he shot 39% from 3, 43 from the field. Not the greatest, but still, this guy's coming off the bench. He's a 3-level scorer. He's a spot-up shooter. A lot of his threes come off of assists, so he's ready to gun when he has a chance. The guard rotation in Chicago looks a bit crowded if we think that Zach LaVine's going to return and then Lonzo Ball returns and you have Caruso and Ayo in the mix. They could, and also, they're looking pretty thin at that forward spot too. So all those guards, not a lot of forwards. Someone has to go, and Coby White seems like the odd man out to me. If we can kind of package maybe Kem Birch, a couple second-round picks, get Kobe White to be our scorer off the bench, combo guard, I consider that a low-risk move, and I think it would be very beneficial for us. But let me know what you guys think. And the other item, of course, is size at the center spot. In my opinion, there are only like two dominant true centers in the league, Embiid and Jokic. Now, with that said, the center we acquired does not have to be a consistent rotational piece. Just an end of bench chess piece to replace Yuta, Shviz, or even Bonga's roster spot. Because the path to playing time for those players seems like it's going to be tough to come by regardless. And it seems like giving Nick Nurse another chess piece when he looks down on the bench if we're getting killed on the boards, just giving him a 7-footer out there would be a great thing for him to have. So the player I think we should consider is Bol Bol. I know he is a restricted free agent with the Magic, but if a scenario presents itself where Mo Bamba returns to Orlando, I could see them being less willing to bring back Bol Bol on a deal or a long-term deal or whatnot. And if I think they're keeping Bol Bol as insurance for if Bamba leaves. So let's just say Bamba re-signs with Orlando. Bol Bol could be on the table for anyone who wants to swoop in and sign him. He's not the best weight-wise, but he has the height and the wingspan to become an effective rim protector and rebounder. He's also a lob threat, and he has shown the ability to push the ball up the court. And it would be a nice addition to the versatile scheme that we're running. He can do a little bit of everything on the court, and he just looks like a demigod. 7-foot lanky, has a good handle, shot blocker, could shoot the three, shoots a pull-up three. We shall see how he progressed from his foot surgery. And I question why Mike Malone never played him or gave him a shot. It could be character issues or whatever, but signing him to a sort of a prove-it deal is a low-risk, high-reward move I think we should entertain. Another name that's out there is Moses Brown. Fate must bring us to this point. We spent all season trying to manifest this move. For whatever reason, our front office just didn't get it done when he became available. I guess we were all in on the 6-8 experiment and want to give it a full season of game tape to review. But now we saw that experiment through. It's time to bring in a 7-footer who can move around the court decently, can be a lob threat, protect the rim. But let me know what names you guys see out there that you think would be a good fit. And let me know 2 roster moves you would like done this offseason for the Raptors. Until next time, please remember to like, subscribe, and raise the vibe. Peace.